For this next video, I want to talk about, um, there was a video that I saw on Tanya TKO. I'll just go ahead and say. And it was basically, it was a really actually a good observation. It was a good video um, topic. A few, maybe a couple of months ago now, and basically the premise of it was the fact that she thought that black men were wanting black women to behave sexually like uh, gay men or like men, period, in general. Because from what I see and found and have known, gay men pretty much carry themselves, as proof in her video, um, by the same type standards that even male straight men do. It's the same type of. Um, so, but that's not what my video is about. My video is how maybe 3 weeks after that, I was once again thinking about relationships and black men, black women, the whole thing. And I came across the idea that not only sexually do they want that, they also want women just in general to behave like men. Um, Women to them are very complicated. Women to them, they can't understand. Women to them, many of them don't feel like they can relate to them. Uh, and it would just be easier for them if women were like men. You know what I'm saying? Women are too complex for them. I mean, it's so many different factors. But that was that's what came to me. Like, man, I don't think it's just sexually. I think it is all the way around in everything. I think I think they feel like they probably wouldn't even have as many arguments, as many whatever disruptions, disruptions into their life if women were more like men, and because they keep thinking that they're logical, they keep thinking that they're more easygoing, that they're. So, but with that being the case, um, with that being the case, it brings about so many of them always talking about women, black women especially, being held accountable, being held accountable. And really what they mean, I want to hit on one part of that, but really what they mean is that they want black women to really take the blame and the accountability in their minds for destruction of the family, destruction of the community, destruction of them, um, and the pretty much whole downfall of the black race. They want black women to take that L, even though they are, any way you look at it, more so to blame because they're the men, they're the head, they're all this stuff that they, want to be, but they don't want to be responsible for it. They want to be it, but they don't want to be responsible for it. And so, with that being the case, the accountability does fall more so on them. A lot of the reason that black women in the black community is the way that it is because of their lack of whatever. But they don't want to take that. So it falls back, according to them, on the woman, the black woman, because she wants to be strong. She wants to be a single mom. She wants to run everything. She wants to have a matriarchal community. She wants to do all of these things. Um, so anyway, that's their mindset. That's their ideology. But you know, this whole accountability argument, you know, um, one of the things with holding a person accountable is, say, for example, two friends, both of y'all drink, both of y'all smoke, y'all do the same stuff, you know. Both of y'all don't have a job. Both, I mean, just, and I'm talking about male or female, just y'all are good friends and y'all basically do the same thing. I want to know which of those friends can hold the other accountable. I just want to know that. And the reason that I ask that is because in my mind, you can't hold me accountable for anything if you're doing the same and or worse. You know, it's literally the epitome of the pot calling the kettle black. Um, so that's the answer I would love to have answered. That's the question that I would love to have answered is what possibly decide beside the delusional whatever, what possibly have they fixed in their mind that the black woman needs to be held accountable for? How can you really seriously even fix your mouth to even say the black woman needs to be held accountable for something when all you do is divert and all you do is, I mean, everything that we keep hearing that these men do, and the men who think like this do. Um, I mean, the things that we see and the things that we hear have been debunked so many different times. The stats have been debunked so many different times. The sources that they even reach from and get these bogus statistics and try to understand them, and they really can't. So that's why they get um, misconstrued and spoken of and misrepresentative. They're not even clearly articulating the truth of the matters. You know what I'm saying? Either on purpose or not. Like either their understanding is so low that they can't, or it's done purposely. And honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, these stats, these um, ideologies, these ideas, so many of these things have been debunked, and so many of just logical thinking, just logically reasoning and talking to these men um, very slowly, very carefully on many platforms don't change how they think. It really doesn't. And at the end of the day, it really goes back in my mind to just the fact that these men are just uh, relishing in their attention right now, the attention that's focused on them, the attention that they're getting by being able to be on social media. I mean, many of these men, in all honestly, don't even have conversations and interactions with black women in general except on social media. Like they're not getting the time of day, they're not getting the attention. Like social media is the platform where they're able to get women to talk to them and to get women um, to basically aggravate women, you know what I'm saying, to the point of them, talking back and forth to them. And that's their enjoyment, no matter if it's negative or if it's delusional or if it's whatever, they're getting some attention. And they get it from social media by carrying these absurd and outlandish type mindsets and just throwing out all kind of crazy stuff out there, you know. It gets them attention. And the other ones, and I have said this before, the other ones who are throwing this stuff out there, a lot of times these bigger platforms are getting money. They're getting monetary. Um, they're getting money. They're getting attention. They're getting views. They're getting likes. They're getting all of these things. And so, in so many ways, it becomes a money making scheme that unfortunately a lot of these men don't even notice. They don't even notice that. And here's another, before I get into my subject a little bit further. The other thing that I was thinking about the other day is, if these gurus are on social media, all over social media, blasting the women and basically telling the men not to have anything to do with the women, leave women alone. Like, just, I don't know if they're trying to slick slide tell them to be gay or bi or whatever, but whatever the case may be, is just leave women alone. And I have to wonder about that. And you all could please tell me what you think about this as well. I have to wonder, because they know that women um, equals some form of money, of being in a partnership with a woman is going to banter some type of need of support, some type of, even if you're giving her gifts or buying her things or just whatever, a woman takes money from a man for whatever type reason. Whether it's living together or whether it's him buying her gifts or just whatever. And with that being the case, it makes me wonder how many of these men who are trying to tell other men that they don't need a woman, leave women alone, and these modern women are horrible, are they just trying to keep all the man's money for themselves? It really makes me wonder. Like, do you not want him to have dates and go on dates and spend money on women, um, and just keep all his money to himself or whatever, so that he can continue to support your platform? He'll have money for that. No stepfathers. Don't be no stepfather. Don't mess with no single woman who got children. Why? Because eventually, if you actually really get in with her and her children or whatever, and actually um, grow to love them all, which is very possible if you just gave yourself a chance. But those children gonna need money. Those children are gonna want gifts. And these men out here who are promoting that, leave women alone, leave their children alone, don't have nothing, just be by yourself or what. And then at the same time, buy my t-shirts, buy my videos, buy my magazine, come to my conference, come to my you go at the end of the day, you're gonna give your money to something. At the end of the day, whether it's a woman or not, you're going to give your money to something. And if you're not giving your money to a actual physical woman that you're there with, seeing children that you have or that you are in their lives, and you're giving it to him, how do you know what he's doing with his money? Which is another thing that, like I keep saying, so many of you don't think, you just react, and you just hear something and it triggers something in you, and other people agree with it. So oh, it gotta be fact, it gotta be true. But at the end of the day, when you don't have anything or anybody, which is fine if that's what you want to do, and all your money, income or whatever, uh, goes to whichever guru, how do you know who he's giving his money to? Honestly, when have you seen his wife or his girlfriend or his bank accounts or his bank statements or what he's doing with his money? How do you know he's not promoting porn? How do you know he's not promoting sex trafficking? How do you know that he's not into a group of women, that you don't agree with or something, or some type of mindset or ideology that you don't agree with, other than what you do agree with? Hopefully, you understand what I'm saying. you know? So getting back to accountability, all of that, it has to do with accountability because you need to be accountable for where your money goes also. They can tell you all day long, oh, don't give it to no woman, oh, don't give it for no children, but you're going to give it to them. And what are they doing with it? And still, accountability is going to fall on you, you know? But anyway, we're talking about the black man holding the black woman accountable, or black men feeling like black women need to be held accountable. Okay. And I do agree. I'm not even, denying that. I just don't really think that we need to be held accountable for all of the stuff that you all think we do, because a lot of that stuff is y'all, and a lot of that stuff has been uh, created by y'all. It's kind of like you all are trying to treat symptoms that have long time been, you know. You're not getting to the root cause of the actual problems. You're just wanting to treat symptoms, you know. So, but like I say, holding the black woman accountable is, I guess they feel like it's their job. You know what I'm saying? But my question is, what gives you the ability to be able to hold really anybody, but the black woman in particular, accountable? Like, what is it? Because, and the only thing that I can see is because maybe because you're a man, or because you feel like you're more logical, as we talked about before. Like, what is that that makes you feel like you're the one that's able to correct the black woman? Um, First of all, you're doing it all wrong. you know, Yelling, being nasty, being emotionally abusive, being ugly, and you know, unkind to a person usually don't get them to change their attitude. And I think I brought about these type of examples before. If you're on a job and your boss comes in there and calls you fat, ugly, lazy, and unproductive, you're gonna want to fight. Like, honestly, you are literally going to want to fight somebody. You not That's not going to motivate you and push you to do better for yourself or for the company, or whatever. What it's going to do, like I just said, is make you want to fight somebody. Like, it doesn't um nowhere on earth is that the way to motivate people, is by insulting them, being emotionally abusive to them, gaslighting and manipulating them to get them to be a better person. The tactics alone won't get anybody to be motivated to be a better person. If you all understand what I'm saying, like it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So, especially when they feel like catering to, pandering to, being nice to, being kind to, being respectful to, and all these things to black women is counterproductive, or when they think it promotes her bad behavior if you're nice to her. Like, at the end of the day, true psychology would tell you that I don't care how you get the effect that you want done, as long as you get it done. If you got to get it done by, in so called, in your mind, lying to her, by so-called, oh, you just the most beautiful thing on earth. If that's gonna get you a steak dinner, well, why not say she's the most beautiful thing on earth? Why call her fat, lazy, good for nothing, can't cook anyway, and a bitch and a hoe, to try to get her to do something good and positive for you? Like, that's complete insanity. Complete insanity. But that's my I'm trying to, stop with the long, 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 super long video. So that is it. That is what I want to know, how the black man is in the position to hold the black woman accountable, And in his feeling like he could hold her accountable with his tactics, like they love to ask us, how is that working for you? Like, how does that work? Period. And how is that working for you? Is it getting you more dates? Is it getting you women? Is it getting you anything that you want? Or is it pushing you more toward men? And is it pushing you more toward being bitter and angry and ugly and lonely, whether you say it or believe it or not? The fact is that you're very lonely, you're very self-destructive. All of the statistics that you all love to, you love to quote statistics and stuff. We'll start looking at those statistics that talk about how lonely men are, how socially awkward men are, how um, just men are just literally losing it because of no social whatever. Like they are so very, very socially they just have no social outlet, so many of them. Whereas many women do automatically just because of the fact that women have so many family connections. Women have children. Women have children who have friends, women have family members and social functions and things like that. And statistically, like I say, y'all love them statistics. Men are just not out there doing that. Like men are just not socially whatever like that. Men have a tendency to stick in very small groups. Men have a tendency to, instead of like really putting themselves out there like that, yeah, they're hanging out on the internet in these incel groups, whether they realize they're incel groups or not, they are on platforms taking in toxicity all day, listening to other men be bitter and hurt and lonely and abusive to women. And it's literally like taking a cup of poison every video that you're uh, clicking on, where you're taking in that type of rhetoric, and they stealing your money on top of all of it. You're happily giving your money away for that. So I just want to know what the accountability is and how you are in the position to make Black women accountable. That's what I want to know. And if you are not, then who is? Who is in the position to make Black women accountable? Is it white women? Is it white men? Is it Asian women? Is it Brazilian women? Is it Arab men? Like who? Who is it? Other Black women? First of all, it can't be other Black women because according to you all of us are degenerate. So it certainly can't be other Black women. We absolutely don't have the ability to check ourselves since we're so degenerate. So I'd like to hear from you, who's in a position to do that. After you do that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Um, please hit all notifications so that you know whenever I upload a video. Please leave a comment, a respectful comment. Um, and until the next video, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.